Okay, let's finish her off here. Hopefully there's enough juice in the battery to carry us through here to the end. We're not done yet. Remember how I said how crazy this area was? We're not done yet. So somewhere around here there was another spur. So here you can see some ties that are still in place. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ties. All right, so while we have a second here, because I'm going to show you a couple things. I have no idea where this spur is, so let's talk a little bit about what was here. So in 1923 there was a spur located here. Now it uses a different mileage because it uses the original mileage. It uses the 1923 mileage for the Graham subdivision, which started in Thunder Bay. The line hadn't been chopped yet, so it shows it as milepost 150.5, and it shows a 4-car spur connected at the east end. And then from so that's the Port Arthur Coal and Wood Company. So then from 1924 to 1927, J.B. Hardy, who had another spur over there, closer to the Matabi spur, he had a spur here. So he had 2 spurs in very close proximity to each other, and this one was located at milepost 120.6. So from 1924 to 1927 it was a 4-car spur connected to the east end. So I'm guessing he was using the spur that belonged to the Port Arthur Fire and Coal Company. And so I'm going to let Luna out here. And so what I'm going to do before we do anything is I'm going to show you those timetables, and then we're going to see what we can find here. Okay, so let's have a look here. There is one kind of funny feature, and there's a spike right there. And this one shows up on the LiDAR. Now it was connected at the east end, so the spur is going that way, right? But there is this here, and I thought this was kind of weird. So you can see it on the LiDAR. You literally have this very narrow little, this wouldn't have been a railway grade, but I'm not sure what the heck this is. It literally goes all the way up like that and hooks back into that road there. So I'm not sure what the heck that was. There's a telegraph pole there. So I'm guessing the spur was somewhere in this area here, because there's a couple of sort of spots here. Right, you can see this spot right here that's kind of widened out. You can see that probably when they were building the railway line, they dug ballast out of here. So again, you got this open air. It wasn't very big. It was a 4-car spur, so 4 cars is not very long. Could have very well been right here, because it kind of narrows in here a little bit. Then it widens out here a little bit again. I think there's something stuck in my brake or something, or in the disc. So you can see we're going through this cut here. gonna pause and take a picture here. Come here, Lenny. Come here. You're probably thirsty, eh? All right, come on, we're almost done. All right, so you can see this here. You can see this little elevation here, but again, that doesn't look like it's connected to anything. So, our last lake here in this section. So this is Surprise Lake. Yep, just double checking, making sure. I can see all that cloud coming in now. Oi, some bumps here. I think I marked a telegraph pole on here somewhere. Yeah, right back there. Yeah, there's something in, I don't know where it is, but something's squeaking. Watch out, Lenny. Telegraph pole's right there. So here you can see that there's a low check area for the logging trucks. Very well used. We got a big ridge that we've cut through here. You can see some snow. Yeah, I know, Loon, you're thirsty. And so we got a little causeway here. Railway was built through this part of Surprise Lake here. And then we get packed up, and then we got a 3 hour 15 minute 3.5 hour drive home. What time is it? So it's almost 2 o'clock, so maybe I'll be home by 6ish. See some more snow here. Bit of snow here. And there's the highway. And we're done. So it looks like another area here that they dug ballast out of. You see by all the moss and stuff covering up the sandy soil. And there's my truck. In the distance, probably can't see it on the camera, there's a big mast, there's a big tower, and that is the radio relay tower at Velora. So again, this line, the Graham subdivision, was dark territory, so no automatic switching, so everything was done by radio control. OCS, occupancy control system, and so they had to have radio towers every so often because you're kind of in the middle of nowhere to radio relay the signal. So again, Velora, that's where Velora station is, just up ahead over there. And so this is again, this is the end of our hike. This is Highway 599. So this is the main north-south highway that goes from runs from Ignace off the main Trans-Canada Highway 17 and runs all the way up to Savant Lake and I think Pickle Lake. And Silver Dollar is literally just a couple of minutes up the road. All right, and so you can see there's a telegraph pole here, last vestige. So we're going to stop here, make sure low meat doesn't go on the road. All right, so this is the end of our hike. And so hopefully you enjoyed everything that we saw today. It was a very busy hike. There was a lot of things to take a look at. So we will be coming back to do this section. We're not going to be doing it in the immediate future. We're going to be taking a look at it in the fall time. So in the fall time, we'll be back here at Silver Dollar for a week of hiking, and we're going to be doing this section, hopefully, fingers crossed, from here, from Highway 599 all the way up to close to Alcona Station. So we've got how far is it? So 20, we've got probably about 14 miles, 15 miles of railway grade to do around that time, maybe a little bit longer. But in any case, stay tuned for more videos, and thanks for tuning in.